With the release of the Continental, we now have 5 projects in the John Wick franchise. So today, I thought it was time for me to stop and rank the world of John Wick, right from the worst to the best. Please know that everything that I will say in this video is just my very own opinion, and you're free to comment down below your very own ranking of the John Wick universe, ranked from the worst to the best, just like me, or you could just do your favorite. Please don't forget to comment down below, what did you think of the Continental? What did you think of John Wick Chapter 4? I didn't even do a review on that. Comment down below your thoughts in the comment section. And with that being said, guys, like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get right into our ranking. Kicking off my list at number 5 is John Wick Chapter 2. It serves as a nice follow-up to the first, continuing the story and keeping up with the consistent action from the first film. I find this movie to be good to great. It has more of everything. More action, more distinct dynamic set pieces. I mean, I love that action set piece in like the mirror house. I thought that was awesome. And the assassins like Common and Ruby Rose coming after John Wick, all of it is pretty great. But the biggest thing is the introduction of the lore that is the High Table. And this is where the foundations of that secret hotel, the Continental, started unfolding. We get to explore more of this mythology. And I found that interesting. Everyone has connections to each other. Everyone knows John Wick. But I find this movie's plot to be the weakest of all the films. And beyond the ending, I love the ending with Winston declaring John excommunicado and a couple action sequences like the mirror set piece. It's not as memorable as the others. Number 4 is the Continental. Look, it took me a while to actually catch on to this show. It took me a while to just sit down and watch the episode. I get to like 5 minutes, 30 minutes, and I just fell out of it. But I buckled down and watched the whole series in one night, and really, I loved it. Once the 50-minute mark hits in the first episode, it goes into a classic John Wick story, revenge. But this time, there's a team. In fact, I think this is what the Book of Boba Fett show should have been. Boba Fett getting this team together, getting revenge, and having it all culminate inside of just one event at the end of the season or the series. I love the fact that the Continental was only 3 episodes long because it tells a singular story. The introduction, the middle, gathering of the team, and then the end is the conclusion, the finale that leads us into the rest of the John Wick films. It serves as a nice prequel. All of the characters are great. They're enjoyable and interesting, but also very cool and layered in that John Wick style. Except for one. There's one character that I don't like. I'm going to put her face up on the screen. I don't like her character. She was just very wish-washy and just was not written the best in my opinion. And also very hypocritical at times. The action is dynamic though. I think it has some great fight scenes, probably better fight scenes than Chapter 4. And I'll get into that reason why when we get to talking about Chapter 4. But I just think like the way that the camera moved, the dynamics of the action sequences was a little bit more stylistic than Chapter 4. The 70s time period also offers a new style. It's a nice origin story that shows how Winston took over the Continental. Again, this is what Book of Boba Fett should have been. Kicking off my top 3 list is John Wick Chapter 4. I didn't see Chapter 4 when it came out. That's why I didn't do a review on it. I saw it like 2 months later, and I'm not going to lie to you. I kind of fell asleep. But that's just because it was so long, and I had a very busy day that day. A very cool movie to exist. Its achievement is how intricately planned and choreographed the action scenes are. The franchise has always prided itself on its top-notch action, and this movie goes bigger and bigger in just epic stunt work on screen. Cinematically, it amazes me how they were able to pull some of this stuff off. I mean, John Wick rolling down all of those flights of stairs, the car scene in Paris where there's just multiple cars zooming past, and you can't really tell what's CGI and what's not because John Wick and the henchmen are still brightly lit. And also the overhead shot, that's just a one take, but it's like overhead and they're using actual like fire bombers. Like, it's so insane how they were able to do this. It just goes down to how intricately planned the stunt work was in this film. But this movie's length is unwarranted, in my opinion, because what was in this movie that warranted to be almost 3 hours? Beyond some action scenes, I think the action scenes are great. To me, it's just a bunch of fights that go on for over 20 minutes with just a 10-minute intermission of dialogue. Maybe 5 minutes of dialogue. John Wick is freaking unstoppable in this movie. He has plot armor to 1,000, and wave after wave after wave, he's just killing multiple people, and the body count gets so high that at some point, the action stopped being enjoyable. It just became numbing and exhausting. My runner-up at number 2 is John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum. Most definitely the most accessible film on this list. I feel like if I wanted to show a John Wick film to my mom or to anybody else who's never seen John Wick films, I'm going to start with 3. I'm not going to do 1, I'm not going to do 2, I'm going to do 3. It just has this polished look, but also it just feels raw. It came out in 2019, and 2019 is one of my favorite year of movies. I'd never seen Parabellum. Like, I didn't see Parabellum until before I watched Chapter 4 in May. So I was going into this film under the notion that this was a 2019 film, and I knew for sure it was going to be good. The tension is on with John, and he's on the run as excommunicado. For me, this film is just so much fun. It has some levels of comedy roped into the mix, but it's also just very entertaining.
He shot my dog.
I get it.
It moves at a fast pace, is not that long, but it's also not that short as the first film, and it's just full of awesome new action scenes and set pieces that slightly leans more into over the top, but not parody. Well, except for that one scene. Parabellum continues to explore the mythology and introduces new characters that all feel invested in this project. At this point, John Wick is at the top of the world with the audience, and everybody loves this franchise. So in 2019, when this movie came out, you could just feel the energy, and when watching this movie, you could just feel the energy that everyone is loving John Wick, and the people behind this movie just wants to make an experience for the audience that loves it. To me, Parabellum has the perfect mix of length, action, fun, and lore that general audiences can hop on the hype train with. But coming into my number 1 is John Wick. Parabellum, is very entertaining, very enjoyable. But I still think the original is the best. It's just raw to me. It's stylized and highly kinetic. As the first film, it establishes this world and how feared John Wick is among others. And that's one thing that this movie has over Parabellum. Yes, he has a bounty on his head. Yes, he's excommunicado, so he has multiple assassins coming after him, but he just runs through them wave after wave, just like in Chapter 4. What I love about this one in Chapter 2 is that he's the Baba Yaga. And I love that detail of he's the most dangerous man in the world. While it is a revenge plot that boasts some top-notch bloody action, it's also the most character-based. John Wick dog dies, and he goes on a killing spree. Well, that's just a simplified version of it. John Wick's wife died, and she gave him that dog. This dog is the only memory of his wife that he has. Once the guys take that from him, it becomes more personal than just John Wick the superhero running through waves of henchmen. Now, the movie is short, and it doesn't need to be over 2 hours. It's a straightforward story told with some thrilling action. I love this movie. It was a great introduction to this world. I gotta say, John Wick 2014 has to come in at number 1. Alright guys, that is it for the ranking. Please know that everything that I did say in this video was just my very own opinion. You're free to comment down below your very own ranking of the world of John Wick. Rank from the worst to the best just like me, or you could just do your favorite. Please don't forget to check out that Twitter. That link is in the description. And with that being said, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. Comment down below. What do you think of John Wick Chapter 4? I didn't do a review on it, so this is kind of like a pseudo review. Comment down your thoughts in the comment section. With that being said, I will see you all next time. Peace.